Wednesday. I hope you're all feeling great. Welcome to what could potentially be the midweek reversal, or will it be the start of the end of Bitcoin? We will find that out hopefully today. By tonight, we should know a bit more. As you are joining me, be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know that you can hear me okay. It is always so awkward starting these live sessions because there's a delay. So for me, I'm talking to no one whilst you guys are jumping on, and I'm like, hello, hello. So it's really awkward until I get that first comment in the comment section to know that you guys are here. And there he is, Jason. Thank you very much. Hey, John, Ben, how you going? Alicia, how you doing, legend? Who else we got here? James, Ryan, Victor, Pranev, awesome. Mark, how you going? Good to see so many members from the Discord in here. Lucky Nice, Mr. Lucky Nice is here. People actually did try to find your Twitter, my friend. Smash the like button. Thank you, Jason. You're my new best friend. Yes, if you are here for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Be sure to hit that like button nice and early as soon as you have learnt something from this video, because it does help me get this video around the internet. We are working hard for that 10K subscribers. We're 200 away, guys. 200 away. Not long ago, I was dying to get to 1,000. So this is pretty cool growth, and to be able to grow like this in a bear market is pretty awesome. And on that note, pay attention to what influencers are around in a bear market, because a lot of them have disappeared. A lot of them are posting a lot less. It's the ones that can stick around in a bear market and make money in a bear market that you want to listen to when eventually the bull market returns. Now they blocked my account. Sorry to hear that. Okay, let's get into what is going on for Bitcoin, and we're going to take a bit of a recap as to what has happened so far in the week and what we think may be happening next. This chart that you can see on my screen is a follow-on from yesterday's video, so if you want more details and didn't catch that, be sure to do that. I did then after that update this chart on my Twitter. So if you're not following me on Twitter, be sure to do that, because when market structure changes or there's something for you to be aware of, I will post it on Twitter outside of doing these videos. So the target was at between 19.1 to 19.3 from this chart, which is this one right here. And that is pretty much where Bitcoin is right now. We're sitting at 19.3 right now. Now, these long orders here are from last night's heat map, so they won't be relevant anymore. So we'll take them off because we want to refresh and see where the orders are now. Let's take a look at where we are in the cycle to start with. So the first area that we were watching yesterday on yesterday's video was this level here, this candle around here. And in the dead gap zone, so very early on in the day, we did take that one out. So that level's gone now. The next one we were watching was the end of this. Let me just make sure you can see that. The end of this candle here that had not yet been recovered, that has now been recovered. So that area has also gone. We're now sitting in this final one, and that comes from this candle here. The interesting thing about this is that it also lines up with the low of the week. This red line down here, this red dotted line, is the low of the week. I'm not sure how clear you can see that. Let me just quickly make it a little bit thicker so that you guys can see it on the screen. So it does look to me like Bitcoin wants to come back to last week's low. And where we're sitting in the cycle right now, this was all drawn out yesterday. So we had the M formation, we had the M retest here, we had the drop here, level 1 into a board meeting. Drop level 2 was what we were waiting for yesterday, which we've got. And now we could be potentially in the literally in the midst of the drop level 3 right now. So let me just put that in. So we had the retrace after that drop, and now we're here. But where is this thing going to settle is the question. And will we get an extension? It's very possible that we will get an extension. So definitely keep an eye out for that today. And also, we're entering this area of interest right now. So that previous candle that I just showed you, we do have a couple of wicks into the zone. Now we know that the dead gap zone where we are right now is the most highly manipulative part of all the sessions. So we need to be very, very careful if you're taking trades in the dead gap zone. But we have spiked down a couple of times. I have very, very strict rules about how I am willing to trade today before the event. And I'll go through those rules with you today. Preferably I want to get the recovery after CPI, and I think we might get it. It's either going to be another leg down or a recovery, but I want to get the trade, I should say. I want to get the trade after CPI, not necessarily the trade throughout today. However, I need to see a few things happen today in the Asia session and the UK session before I'm willing to take a trade. Pilar, nice to see you. You're catching a live. That's awesome. Zachary, how you doing? Silver Licks, I don't know how to say it. Miss Jakestar, how you doing? Damien. Okay, so let's talk about, before I get into what my very, very strict rules for today are, let's talk about where Bitcoin may keep going if it continues to bleed for today. So we know we've got the low of the week to watch out for. That's at about 19K. We also know that at this point in time, this candle here has not yet been recovered, which sits between 19,280 and 19,140. Many wicks into this zone here, not getting a strong bounce out of it. So this isn't really, I do think this may break today, but just depends on what Asia does when it actually opens, because it really could bounce from here. Other than the low of the week, we still have these high block levels that we marked out yesterday, and I'm going to double check those. So yesterday we had, the lowest level was at 18,920, and when we go out to the 4 hour to match that area up, we can see that lines up with a 4 hour pretty key level, which also does not take us down into this low right here. So essentially when you zoom out, we're in somewhat of a trapping volume formation, meaning that people who went short in this zone down here are not too high. Like the 100x and the 50x probably already wiped out, but the 25x's may still be in, and they may still be trapped, hoping and waiting for price to come back to their entry. So there are potential traders still trapped here in a position the wrong way. Now, if they want to keep those traders trapped, they won't bring price below this 18,930 level here. If they do, then they're going to release them, which means much more downside, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. And obviously market makers want lower prices. We need to double check this level though, because we have had increased leverage overnight. So let's take a look at high block. And is this the right one? High block BTC, yes. So currently the delta is at 18 billion. We're getting up to that level where they start to think about turning around price. Could go a little bit more than that, but we're getting there. The very lowest level of longs to be liquidated or that are still at risk is at 18.5, which is only about $400 lower, but the largest order is still at around 18.7. So 18.5, we'll move that down. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to 18.5. It just means this is the lowest level that we can see in the visible range. And we just want to mark that out as a level. Why does the market maker want lower prices? Well, it would be because, we don't know if he does yet because he's holding the range, or they are holding the range. But if they do, then it's just to trap more people. It's just a liquidity game. So if this is the level here, then that's going to break below here. So I'm still favoring that 18.9 at this point in time. I don't really see why we would break below that unless after the CPI we continue this downtrend, which we don't know that at this point in time. Currently we're holding this level, so that's what we're going to worry about. And if we break it, we're worrying about this 18.9. Now, moving on from that, what did I want to show you next? So I'm actually going to clone this because I do want to keep this at 18.9. And let me just put it back there. Now, what we want to do then is match up that area to Trading Light and see if we've got anything going on that is rather significant. Asia has not opened yet, so this may change. We've got still these significant orders down here at 15. Well, we've even got some down here at 13,350, but this is normal for a pre-news event. It does not mean that we're going to go all the way down there. It's just people wanting a lucky dip buy if the news is terribly dramatic. So I don't tend to worry too much about orders this low down. I'm really more worried about what's in the range that we're currently dealing with, because at the end of the day, in order for price to pick up any of these orders, it has to first smash through all of these orders, and there's a lot here. So we've got at this point in time, we've got a very key level sitting at around 18.8, which lines up with that high block level. So that's the level I'm interested in for now. Let me just move this one. So this is where we've got the Binance longs. Wait, why is that doing that? Yeah, this is where we've got the Binance longs. This is where we've got the high block liquidation, 18.8, 18.9. That's the level to watch in my opinion. But here is what I think is more important. So CPI is at 10, I think it's 10:30. Let's double check, or 10:50. Yeah, 10:30 Melbourne time tonight. Here's what I am going to be looking for today that is more important. So on the 15-minute time frame, what I want to see is Asia run a true session, meaning Asia runs consolidation in a 1 to 2% range. So if Asia can do that and not trend, if Asia trends today, I'm not trading till after CPI. That's my rule. You do you, but that's my rule. If Asia runs a typical session, which is just sideways consolidation, then we've got a potential Asia into UK play that could run a small scalp day trend until just before the CPI, and then a potential bag flip or potential continuation depending on what comes out. And the reason that I say that is because of where the CPI announcement is. So the CPI announcement is coming just before the end of UK. I'll get into what I think may happen in that session, but here's my conditions to trade beforehand. So if Asia can stay in this range today, and then at 2 a.m. New York, issue an extension to the upside, come back for a retrace before the end of Asia, and then at the open of UK, give me a lower high, there'll be a small day trade down to around that 18.9 level. Hopefully to reach that before the end of UK session, because I wouldn't want to hold this trade into the news announcement. So that's play number one. Number two is, if they do the same thing, it has to be a range in Asia, not a trend. If there's a trend in Asia, there's no trade set up. The second one is at 2 a.m. New York, they issue the extension to the downside with a quick retrace. Then open of UK, they give me a high or low. That's a potential day trade to the upside. So those are the only two plays that I would be looking for at around 2 a.m. 2 a.m. New York today to take a small day trade up until before the CPI announcement. If I don't get that, this is what I'm looking for in the UK to US changeover. So let me just get an empty area to show you. So this here red is the US Open. This yellow here is UK. So whatever UK does, I don't care which way it runs a trend, but I'm looking for the session changeover, because the session changeover is going to run into the CPI announcement, and that's where we're going to expect high volatility and probably stop hunts and triggering pending orders, right? So we may get a fast move down at the CPI announcement, and then a quick, probably highly volatile retracement. Then over the US Open, you have to wait for the US Open. Sometimes when you get that extension and you feel like this is the bottom, you take an entry. In my opinion, today is not the day to do that, because you have to wait for US to react to the news once they open. So expect high volatility. If you get that sharp spike down, expect high volatility in US. Then once you're done, once you can see that those stop hunts are over, if you get the good W formation there and you get the higher low out of, once that stop hunt is over and done with, that's where the midweek reversal is going to come today. If it's going to come, this is not a guarantee. Now, that could also go the other way. So we could run a trend in UK, which one was I drawing? We could run a trend in UK. It doesn't matter what way the trend goes in UK, because we're not trading that. We're trying to trade the session changeover. We could get the stop hunt spike to the high at the end of UK with a quick retrace. US will react with another stop hunt, and then we head down further from there. That's the only play that I'm willing to play. I would rather play this one than the Asia changeover. However, if Asia gives me a typical session, I'm not going to miss out on that move, because it could be the start of the rest of the week trend. So it's very, very dependent. So my rule is Asia has to run a typical trend for me to take a trade Asia over to UK. If it does not run a typical session, which is consolidation, then I'm looking for that UK-US changeover, and I'm looking for a W or an M formation after I can clearly identify the stop hunts. Does this make sense? I'm 14 minutes behind. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at ETH. We're going to zoom out on ETH as well and have a look at the 4 hour. So the high block liquidations for ETH currently is at $1,000 even. We've broken our initial areas of interest, both of them. We broke this one, which was the one I really kind of hoped that it would hold. However, we are now in this area here, which is actually not that bad, because it does also, at this point in time, it does put ETH in a trapping volume formation. So ETH, when it was creating this W formation, it created a double top, whereas Bitcoin actually created a higher high. So this one is actually following a trapping volume formation better than what Bitcoin is right now. And we have not revisited this zone. So it's very, very dependent on ETH holding here today. Again, waiting for the exact same setup. If we can get that W formation multi-session, as long as Asia does not run a trend, then we're good. Otherwise, if Asia runs a trend, I feel like it's just going to be a manipulated move and probably don't want to be part of it. Just, there's no trade, reset next week. So that's what I'm looking for ETH. Everything, I won't go through the whole setup because it's exactly the same as Bitcoin. It's just that this is the level to watch out for, and we don't want to see it break really below 1010 pretty much. Now let's have a look at everything else that is going on. So won't do Bitcoin. The interesting thing about S&P, which I'm actually watching really closely, is this candle right here that it has not returned to on the 4 hour time frame. We have wicked into this area once, but we haven't returned there. So if we can hold where we are now, that's going to be fairly positive. The thing is, we've rejected off the 200 EMA a number of times, but we've also been creating higher lows. So this is getting to basically squeeze point where a decision is, likely to be made. The actual direction is likely to be chosen. So at this point in time, as long as we hold and, don't come in to recover this whole candle, it's not looking too bad for a break to the upside, in all honesty. Again, we know we've got a big news event and anything can change tonight. So very much dependent on that level holding for now. And if it does hold, then, crypto has a chance. With NAS as well, let's go into that one. It hasn't come down into its market maker candle yet at all, which is good. And it's actually held this previous level here, which is a very key retail levels support resistance flip area. It's holding that at this point in time. All of these EMAs are bunched together now. That's where things get a little bit tricky, and we need to wait and see, is price going to reject and stay under those EMAs and we're going to head further down into, at the very least, this candle, or will we now push above them and the EMAs start to turn up? Nothing to do whilst the candles are in the actual zone. But what we're waiting for is breakdown, a retest of those EMAs for bearish continuation, or we break back above them, retest them for bullish continuation. Now, what else do we want to go through? This Dixie here, wait, where's my thing gone? Dixie over here is crazy town. The thing is, this level here that I've marked as a key level is actually from 2002. Now, how relevant is that today? Not very, other than for retail traders, because retail traders don't have an option but to look left, right? That's how they make their decision, is by seeing what happened looking left. And that's where we're heading to now. So the reason that I'm paying attention to Dixie right now, well, everyone is, it's not just me, but what I want to see on Dixie, I've added the RSI, as you can see, which I don't normally have on my chart. I'm looking for divergence. I want to see a bearish divergence on Dixie. And if I can get that at the same time that I'm getting those W or M formations that I'm looking for on Bitcoin, that's going to be what gives me confluence. So I don't care where Dixie goes. I don't care the price. What I want is a bearish divergence. I don't yet have it, and I want it on a higher time frame too, ideally. We'll have a look at the 1 hour, but it's not all that. Yeah, currently no. But a 4 hour bearish divergence is going to be good for me with that one. So, did I do everything I had to do? No, I didn't. I lose track doing these lives. Now, let's have a look at... No, where am I going? Here. Let's have a look at the trading light levels now that Asia has just opened, I believe. Also, whilst you're at it, remember our deal. If you have learned something at this point in time, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and turn that bell notification to all so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And also, if you are looking for an exchange to trade on, OKX is my preferred exchange. There is a link in the description below to get you up to $2,000 sign up bonus, and also 15% off trading fees, which is huge. And finally, this is probably the last moment of the month to join the Discord if you're interested in learning this method in whole. The beginning of the month is the best time to join, so don't leave it too much longer. The link is in the description as well, and come and join us and learn this method. We are kicking big goals in the first class tier of the Discord. Now, what was I going to do? We're going to mark out the trading light levels. So we've got a very significant level here at 18.8. We saw that before, all the way up to about 19.2. So let's mark that out. Just give me 2 seconds to do that. That's not it. Pretty big zone so far. And what else do I want to do here? No, that's fine. The sell orders is what we're interested in because we want to know if the high of the day is already in. So let's have a look at what's going on there now. We've kind of got two blocks going on. So we're trying to hold below at this point in time 19.6 to 19.7, but we've also got say 20,000, so 2150 to about 2250. So we've got two levels here. One of these may disappear. These ones down here, if this candle comes in with some strength, these ones may move up as we get closer, but we will just mark those to see where they are right now anyway. And yeah, so it's looking like we may extend the initial high of the day if we can get up into that level, because currently it's here in the dead gap zone. But if price moves up into here, then we may extend it. But at the end of the day, I still want to see consolidation in Asia. Otherwise, I just feel like it's too manipulated. And if we do move up, it's still going to be a 2% range. A 2% range for an Asian range is great. If we can hold there between these two levels for Asia, then we are on for a potential UK or Asia UK session changeover day trade, potential bag flip UK into US. That's my deal. That's what I'm going to play today. Now, let me just see. Is there any questions? Hit those likes, team. Show Annie our support. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. That's all I really have for you. I'm just checking these comments to see if there's anything that I missed. Haven't pulled my orders off yet. Yeah, good. May get a spike down there. You never know. Oh, yes, the black background for high block. Yes, I fixed it for all of our eyes. All right, beautiful. I think those are all the comments. Have an amazing day, guys. Trade safe. Be careful. There's nothing wrong with sitting out if you're not sure. It's going to be much easier to trade the recovery after the announcement than trying to trade beforehand. But it's up to you to set your trading rules and to be really strict on them. I've set mine for the day. You do you. This is not my last. I've got another update tomorrow. So tomorrow we will know the aftermath of the CPI and we'll be able to trade that together. Have the most amazing day. For everyone who is in the Patreon, I will see you in there and we will trade this together like a boss. See you guys tomorrow.